This week marks an important anniversary in the history of Alberta's economic and constitutional development. It's not just our generation, but going all the way back to before the founding of the province in 1905, Albertans have always been fighting for a fair deal in the Federation. Because when our province was created alongside Saskatchewan in 1905, the federal government did not give us control over our own natural resources. Those subsurface minerals continued to be owned by Ottawa and not the Western provinces, even though Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada did own their own mineral resources. Well, this was one of the top priorities of Albertans and the political leadership of this province in the 1910s and 20s. And thanks to the incredible efforts of then Alberta Premier Brownlee, Alberta managed to fight for and win a critical victory in 1930 with the adoption of the Natural Resources Transfer Act 90 years ago this week. The single most important achievement of the province up to that point in its history, and by securing a fair deal, the same rights of ownership that all other provinces had, Alberta and the Western provinces paved the way for decades of prosperity, particularly after the discovery of oil at Turner Valley at the end of the 20s, and then of course Leduc at the end of the 1940s. Now Peter Lougheed had to go back to battle to fight the federal National Energy Program, of course, in the early 1980s, and that's why he made it Alberta's #1 goal during the debate around the patriation of the Constitution to more deeply entrench in our country's top law exclusive provincial jurisdiction over the production of natural resources, including oil, gas, and forestry. Unfortunately, here we are in 2020, still having to defend those natural resources that Albertans won 90 years ago this week. And we're doing so by challenging the federal government's unconstitutional No More Pipelines Act, Bill C-69, as well as their prejudicial tanker ban, Bill C-48, which we are challenging in partnership with Alberta First Nations, who want the right to be able to develop and sell their resources. And so let's look back at history 90 years later and say thank you to Premier Brownlee for his wisdom and leadership. Thanks to Albertans for always having stood for fairness in the Federation. It's a fight that carries on right through to our own time, and it's a fight that once again Alberta will win.